Essa logo, LP.
Hey man, it done showed up to the crib, man. Showed up to the crib. I mean, for real. So last time when we talked about going to do powder coat, I was supposed to powder coat the upper intake. That was one, the upper intake, lower intake, the base of the intake, and also my 2 accessory brackets, I believe. So now I figured, you know what, take it a step further. I went on Holley, Holley's website, Brothers Parts, something like that. They sell a lot of OBS parts on the Holley website, and I got both inner fender wells for about like $100. So I was like, oh, why not? So got those and going to get those matched up with the top intake plate. Booyah! This is a pretty tall box. Wow. All right. Woo. So yeah, there it is. It's in here. Just got to take this thing out, and it shouldn't be heavy because it's just sheet metal at this point. Just sheet metal at this point, so it really shouldn't be heavy. Yeah. So we breaking in this jaw now. Let's just see what. Oh Lord. All right. So now I was curious because in the pictures, it looked like it didn't have the holes on the top that what did they say? It looked like it didn't have the holes on the top that the, what's that called, EBS. So it didn't look like it had the bolt holes for that to bolt onto the fender well. So I mean, maybe I gotta make those, I don't know, but we'll see. I just gotta get this thing out without like trying to mess nothing up. I'm overthinking. Right. Okay, so if I had to take a guess, which one is this? That's the back, that's the front, I would say. So this is the driver's side. Yes, it is, because these are the 2 holes that the air box bolts to, and my cold air volant intake is bolted to. So this is the 2 holes for that. So this is definitely that side, which has the holes necessary already on it. So this wasn't the side in question, it was the opposite one. This is the one. And oh, I'm good. Here it is. It wasn't in the pictures, but I can see it. Hole, 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 hole. These are the holes needed that I need to bolt that bracket up to here. So yeah, this was a win. This is not bad. $100. All right, y'all, it's raining out here. I mean, still trying to make it happen. Definitely like a gloomy day. It's been raining for like 4 days straight. Went to go and do this on Saturday, but Bonehead was closed. Didn't even know that. I thought they were open on Saturdays. But going over there, try to make it before they close today. They close at 5. I'm going to be cutting it kind of close. But I had some other stuff to do, and then I got class later. So the goal is go to Bonehead, drop it off successfully, hopefully, and then go to class. So here's the stuff for the top of the intake. Now, I didn't go and talk to the guy yet about trying to get a new gasket for this, but this one is in great condition that came out of the top. But what I did do is I have all of my bolts, and you guys see me drill and tap this hole right here for the brake booster. I'm going to put all of those components inside of the bag so that way I don't lose them, and I know where they are later on. Alright, so here's the inner fender wells in there. I know it looks horrible back here, wet leaves, old parts, but those are the 2 brackets right here that are getting powder coated gloss black for the engine. And then you just saw me with that. I'm going to take that. That's going to be the as close as I can get them to match it to the color of the body, along with the inner fender wells. So inner fender wells, top piece is going to, I'm going to try to get it to match the body, and these 2 pieces and the big heavy part, the lower part of the intake, that's going to be gloss black. mean, obviously it's gonna take a while, but this is a big step, picking this stuff up from powder coat, and it's definitely gonna put all the visions and all that crap that I have like in a perspective and start to finally make it a freaking reality. So pulling up at Bonehead now to pick up the inner fender wells, pick up the intake, pick up the what's that called, the accessory brackets. So this being done finally like gets me also in position to like start getting that intake put on here and reap the benefits of the intake, the BBK throttle body, all of that stuff. So now that I'm getting it back, I can start reassembly. All right, so here it is, people. So here's the top plate, and there's the base, all cleaned up, powder coated. And the one thing, I mean, I got it as close as I could, but it's not really like matching. It's on camera it makes it really obvious, but when I had the piece of panel, it looked like it matched a whole lot closer. And yeah, but I mean, it is what it is. I'll take it. It'll still look cool. Not exactly color matching, but close as I can get it. And inner fender wells, same thing. You know what? I'm not actually gonna unwrap those. You'll see those later. But here is the brackets and the gloss black brackets. They came out really nice, looking just like the base here, and they match up. So I mean, overall quality work. I just wish I had the know-how to get exactly what I wanted and kind of vocalize it and whatnot, but there it is, man. So here's a closer look at the well, actually unwrapped, looking at the brackets. Let me try to get the sunlight here. Sun's not my favorite at the moment, but yeah, they came out well. They did a pretty good job. They did a good job. Not a pretty good job, they did a good job. Yeah, so they came out looking good. The relief that I had cut because of my tall valve covers, remember I did that ahead of time, so that way when I went to go get it powder coated, all of that would get coated as well. So it would have sucked to have to like grind this thing down after it's powder coated. It wouldn't have been too smart either. But yeah, they came out looking pretty good. It's definitely going to make it pop. It's going to like contrast really well when you're looking at it, and you have the what's those things called, the color from the inner fender wells going. Then you'll have the top of the intake going. These will match up with the lower intake. So all a part of the color scheme, man. Should come out looking pretty good. Okay, so y'all know I'm Captain Extra, so please don't even act surprised. But so here we go. This is the fuel rail, and when I picked up the intake the first time, I noticed that the whole intake was coated like with this black stuff that I thought was powder coat. I mean, it could be, and I mean, honestly, it had a nice finish and it wasn't dull. You wiped it off, it had a decent look to it, but it was already pretty chippy on top of the fuel rails themselves. I believe this is stainless, which would be nice, but the whole thing is, if I'm trying to, you know, go all the way, already got the powder coating done, just got to prep this rail. So with that being the case, I actually went on eBay, and that was the closest thing I found to guessing that I was being sure on what O-rings this is, because for some reason it's really difficult for me to freaking find like gaskets that are marine Mercruiser specific, and you know, with the O-rings and the injectors and whatnot. So truthfully, this thing was pulled off of a running boat shortly before I bought it. And the injectors I don't have an issue with. When I had it sitting outside before I assembled it, it started to like get this rust on it, which truthfully, the rust in the, I guess the rust powder that's on here, I could spray this down with like some penetrating oil. It's kind of like a slight lubricant and wipe it off, and I'm quite sure it'll be good to go. I'm going to get these taken out. Got to take these tabs here and kind of spread them a little bit so that way I can get these injectors off. There will be some fuel in here, I know it. Get that out. And the goal is to take this wire wheel and this one too, and hopefully I can clean this up, man, and get the stainless looking really nice. So just to give an example here, so we got, where's it? Ooh, all right, this one sucks. All right, so let's look at that one. See the corrosion, slight bit of corrosion and a little bit of rust that's on the metal tab that's actually holding this in place. So just an example of what I'm trying to do here. Gone, looking good. So the goal is to try to do this to the whole thing. Ha 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 ha. So I'll get back to you guys after try to clean this thing up and see how it gets. All right, so I popped them all off, but I left one on here for you guys. It's actually not difficult to get these off. So if you see, there's a retainer clip here. And with this retainer clip, it comes along one side, has a back side, and then it goes along the other side. So if you pull it away from the back side, or I'm sorry, you pull it toward the back side, it'll come off pretty easy. No tool needed, just kind of like a wiggle back and forth a bit. And once it kind of comes off on the one side, boom, there we go. So one thing that's important so far that I found in doing the research on these, the blue O-ring indicates a certain type. Then there's one with a, well, I think it might be blue at the top regardless. But the bottom one is like an orangish, tannish one on certain years. And I think that can determine what type of injector it is. There's the pre-2007 and then there's after 2007. I'm not sure what the difference is on those, but I'm going to try to figure out and identify this exactly to know like what it is. So now that all of these are removed, next step is to get the wire wheeling and hope I can get it all off. Okay, ta-da! Movie magic. It's done. As you can see over here, I didn't really touch. And in the meantime, while wire wheeling this and whatnot, I kind of got the urge to do a little research. So, it's definitely is not stainless steel. I mean, it looked like it just because of the way the finish was, but the inconsistencies, I want to say, in like, not the texture, but just kind of like the hue from certain angles. And also, I'm gonna try to get it on the camera, but one of the most obvious spots is in here. You can kind of see, I think that's copper if I'm not mistaken. And then on top of that, in certain areas when I was cleaning it off, they were green, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense because copper, you know, when it oxidizes, it does that. Like the freaking statues in Philly that are like that oxidized green grungy look is because they're copper, but it's just what happens with the rain and everything else. Here's another spot, even like in there a little bit. But anyway, I got it all off. I left this black because worst case scenario, I'll probably just leave this section black and touch up this paint for now because I'm trying to figure out down the line what am I going to do. I'm not going to halt progress because I mean I am extra, but at the same time there's nothing wrong with it. It works 100%. It's just a matter of me doing all this pretty crap. But anyway, so what I'm going to do is I just checked the O-ring kit for the injectors is on the way. It actually should be delivered today. And also what I found out in the meantime is these with the blue tops are definitely the pre-2000, so before 2000. That's what these came off of. For whatever reason, the website I was looking at, if it was after 2000, they're like a little under $100. For some reason, these, they got them listed for like damn near 200. Ridiculous. But either way, these are going to be temporary because I'm probably going to go to I think it's called Snake Eater Performance or something like that, and they have a whole bunch of fuel injection options. So I just got to look around, you know, see what I like. But once again, there's no crazy cam in my truck, so this will do for the time being. But what I'm going to do, because the O-rings that are coming I think are wrong, I'm going to do what I said. I'm going to clean this up, kind of like with some penetrating fluid, just to get off the flashed rust from when I left it outside, and kind of like get the reassembling. So I cleaned these up real good. Got all the stuff off of the bottom from when I left it outside. Cleaned it up, and I mean the O-rings, of course, you know, I guess I'm not sure how to explain it, but there's certain ways you can tell where O-rings are good or they're bad, basically feeling how brittle they are. These do not feel like in bad condition at all, but once again, I got this off, do pull this off a running boat, and shit still had the oil on it from the freaking oil leak the Miller had. But you guys really don't have to do all of this, just putting it out there. You don't have to do all of this. I'm just being me. You can literally take it, pull it off the boat, and slap it right on your truck and be absolutely fine. Performance is going to be the same. But anyway, I'm gonna just start connecting these, get them in place, and going to test fit it on the intake. Okay, easy peasy, we're all on. Bam! Movie magic. Alright, so here's the top of the intake, and there's the gasket. I already put that in off camera. Put the gasket back in place because this was in great condition. And just gotta kind of like put it on, get the bolts in, and start trying to see how that those fuel injectors are gonna go. So I actually got lucky with these. I didn't intend for this to happen, but these bolts were kind of sitting in the lower intake, and they actually took them, sandblasted them, and coated them. I was like, wow, okay, I'll take it. All right, so just got those snugged on here. Like I said, we're just test fitting from, you know, for now. And get these in place, and gonna look something like that. Something like that. Let me get this camera angle different. Here it is, man. Wow, look at that. Wow. I would love for this to stay this color. Like I said, this is gonna bother me, and I can't really get to it with the wire wheel like I want to, so I'm honestly just gonna leave that part black like I said earlier. But wow, man, look at that. That's gonna be beautiful under the hood, man. Beautiful, beautiful. Especially looking at the color pops in the sun. Wow. So here's another something to know. Of course, this little baggie that you guys saw earlier before I took it to powder coat that has everything, you know, that's supposed to be wanted in it, and the bolts so I didn't lose them. Everything else as far as the bolts are just me putting them back where they go, but this is what I want to show you guys. So I decided that I want to go with a -8 AN line, and that is going to be for my my feed. This is what's going to feed the engine. So the top one is a 3/8 line. The bottom, I believe, is a 5/16 or 15/16, something like that. But yeah, so this one's gonna go on the feed. So the way that this is a quick release style, where you can get one that actually does have like a 2-piece that screws onto it. Who knows, maybe that's something I'll do in the future. But the bottom one is going to be -6. You do not have to do -8. This is a personal preference that I'm using a -8. You can use a -6 and get away with it and be completely fine. Plenty of people out here with decent horsepower that have -6 all the way through. So this is just me kind of planning for the future. So that's all that. But I'm gonna pop this off and kind of show you guys how it would go. And it literally just clicks like right on. So hold that still. Boom. Heard that click? Firm. And booyah. So these got pretty good reviews on Amazon. The only thing that some people will worry about is like leaks, but there's plenty of companies. Earls makes them. You can order Earls from not Edelbrock. You can order Earls from Holley. A whole bunch of places. But anyway, they got 2 different styles. This is what I decided to go with. This is going to be the feed, and I'm going to do the same thing, same style, quick release, but with the -6 on the bottom, and that'll be good to go. So that's going to be pretty much it for this. And the next thing that we got to do is, at some point, this is obviously going to be later down the line, sorry about that, but is actually getting this thing installed. But I think what I'm going to do to make it simple is probably have a video in the future on how to wire this up so that it matches up with the firing order of the car. Doesn't matter if you got 04 PC11, 0411 PCM, or the factory black box, doesn't matter. It's going to run the same way. So just got to figure that out, do some more research, and get the info out to you guys. But all right, man, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.